Live from NBC O&O. This is the Channel 4 News at 11.
Tonight, there are brand new details about the plane crash that killed John F. Kennedy Jr. and his wife. Just released audio tape from when it first became very clear that something had gone wrong.
Tonight, we're getting our first chance to hear a phone call that was made in those very first moments after JFK Jr.'s plane went missing. Channel 4's Chuck Henry in our News Ops Center right now with details on that. Chuck.
Well, these tapes contain the voices of a 21-year-old who worked at the Martha's Vineyard Airport and the FAA's flight service station in Connecticut. The date, July 16th, 1999.
I was wondering if you could track an airplane for me.
The tape begins with a question. The dispatcher is asked if he can track Kennedy's now overdue airplane.
Who are you? I'm with the airport operations. From where? Martha's Vineyard Airport. Kennedy Jr.'s on board. They want to know, where he is.
The dispatcher tells Bud he won't give the information over the phone.
And your name? I don't want to. Are you with the operations there? Yeah, it's too much trouble. Yeah, we don't give this information out to people over a phone. Well, if it's too much trouble, it's not a big deal. Okay.
This call is the first indication that there's any kind of a problem with Kennedy's airplane and comes 4 hours before the search is actually launched. Kennedy was flying with his wife and sister-in-law from the New York area to Martha's Vineyard. Pilot Air would eventually be blamed for the crash. The NTSB report saying that Kennedy became disoriented, flying into low visibility at night and was not licensed to fly in those conditions. The wreckage of the plane and the bodies were discovered by divers at sea, about 7 miles short of the runway at Martha's Vineyard. These audio tapes have been known for some time. They were originally requested by a New England television station, and it has taken this long, almost 8 years, to finally get them released. I'm Chuck Henry. Paul and Colleen, back to you.
Chuck, thank you very much. Tonight, shuttle astronaut Lisa Nowak is free on bail after being charged with attempted murder in an alleged plot to kill her romantic rival. Nowak covered her face as she left the Orlando courtroom today. Tonight, NASA has placed her on a 30-day suspension. The mother of 3 must wear a GPS tracking device now. Her family said she had recently separated from her husband. Investigators found a letter in her car professing her love for the shuttle pilot she was allegedly ready to kill for.
It was we believe, a fairly elaborate plan.
Nowak was ordered to stay away from her rival, Air Force engineer Colleen Shipman. In court documents, Shipman claims that Nowak had been stalking her for 2 months.
Meantime, here at home, residents in one city are accusing their police department of abusing its authority. And tonight, they took their case to City Hall. Channel 4's Fernell Chapman is live in Maywood with their story. Fernell?
Colleen, some local residents and civil rights lawyers claim the Maywood Police Department is out of control, and they're calling for state and federal investigations of Maywood Police.
Have you ever reported a police officer you've seen beat somebody else that I'm corrupt? Give me an opportunity and I will. Well, you already called me corrupt.
That confrontation took place outside Maywood City Hall, where 6 civil rights lawyers called on the state attorney general to investigate allegations of police corruption in Maywood.
These police who are doing these deeds are rogue cops. They're dangerous cops, and they're not being held accountable.
The allegations against some Maywood police officers include questionable shootings, unprovoked police beatings, illegal car impounds, and the use of racial slurs by officers.
There are some good officers in this department, and I would encourage those good officers to come forward and report misdeeds when they see them.
They have enjoyed a reputation of being a mafia with badges.
The city's newly formed police commission heard from a parade of citizens all complaining about police misconduct. Some even brought photos of victims allegedly beaten by Maywood police.
You got some dirty cops, terrorist cops who will take revenge on people who are getting testimony here.
Investigations are being completed internally as prescribed by law. We are conducting internal investigations on the complaint that we have knowledge of. The other ones we didn't have knowledge of will be investigated.
Now, Maywood police already face numerous lawsuits. Local residents say the costs to the city will simply continue to climb until the Maywood Police Department is cleaned up. Live in Maywood, I'm Fernell Chapman, Channel 4 News.
Thank you, Chet. Clean it up or shut it down. Those were the marching orders today from the LA County supervisors to the health department about a huge local produce market that sells food to thousands of restaurants in Southern California. And it comes in direct response to Joel Grover's undercover investigation exposing filthy conditions at the market. Joel.
Well, Paul and Colleen, in a stormy session today, the supervisors accused the health department of failing to protect the public. The supervisors demanded action and answers from public health officials about why they allowed dirty conditions at one of the city's biggest sources for produce.
You can't point to anyone else. It is us. It is our responsibility.
County supervisors had tough questions for top health officials after they all watched our NBC4 investigation during their weekly meeting.
This is a very, very serious situation.
Supervisors demanded to know why health inspectors have allowed dirty conditions to exist
those we caught on tape.
Yes.
Rats crawling around produce, and workers urinating right around boxes of fruits and vegetables. Dr. Jonathan Fielding, public health director.
Should have been much more careful oversight.
What about the chief inspector who we caught on tape? Produce vendors to clean up. That's a NBC investigation.
NBC might be out here in another week or so. It was very disturbed by when I heard that.
Why are we not exercising our police powers in public health to shut down a facility that is a complete violation?
Investigation say Board of Markets owners have fixed health code violations like the rat problem, and say they're pushing for misdemeanor criminal charges against the owner.
This should have happened before, but since this comes to our attention, we have to proactively take ownership of it.
We're filing criminal complaint. Criminal complaint means absolutely nothing.
Supervisors want the health department to draw up a long-term plan to clean up the 7th Street Market, or else shut it down.
You're not off the hook. I don't think that Mr. Grover is finished with his report. So what will be very embarrassing for us, Dr. Fielding, is to get caught again.
And she's right, too, to say on this story. The Board of Supervisors has ordered the health department to report back to them in 2 weeks with a plan to fix the 7th Street Market. We'll keep an eye on it.
How about you, Will?
Thanks for doing that, Joel.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, it burned into the night. A big explosion and fire at a Southland oil facility. Hear that story coming up next.
Folks, check out the pictures here. A smuggling surprise at the border.
And a bit later, 2 wheels against 4. Productive road rage.
I'd count out the Clippers getting nicked in New York, a wild ending in a college basketball game you have to see, and if you would, take a good look at this, because you're not going to see it again, Fritzer.
Okay, what we have a advisor to talk about. What about these rain chances?
Got it all for you. My live weather plus forecast coming right up.
You're watching the Channel 4 News at 11.
Flames burn into the night at an oil field about 35 miles southwest of Bakersfield. Although the gas has now been shut off, 4 workers were hurt, one seriously, when explosions rocked the facility, which is owned by Occidental Petroleum. The fire appeared to begin along a ruptured gas transportation line. The exact cause of the blast still under investigation.
Also tonight, LA police have arrested an 18-year-old student in connection with a double stabbing and street brawl in Playa del Rey. It happened last night after a basketball game at St. Bernard High School. One of the victims underwent surgery, remains in critical condition at the hospital tonight. The other is out of the hospital. Neither of the victims is a student at the school.
The 9th and final teenager convicted in that racially charged Halloween beating in Long Beach has been sentenced to probation and community service. The defendant, now 18 years old, got a lighter sentence than her 8 co-defendants. She will not face home arrest. 2 15-year-old boys are still awaiting charges in juvenile court for their alleged roles in those attacks.
They are out there on the road when you are. But is there enough room? Bikes and cars vying for space. A special report is next.
And it's safe to say you don't see one of these guys around here too often. Someone caught this on videotape.
Wow, plus Fritz has your live weather plus Doppler forecast, and that is coming up next.
You're watching the Channel 4 News with Paul Moyer, Colleen Williams, Fritz Coleman weather, and Fred Rogan sports.
Traffic problems are legendary in Southern California. There's a bulletin. So lots of people are switching to bicycles. But while the bikes help solve some of the problems, others are now being created. Channel 4's Conan Nellen reports on the road wars.
It's just the start of the afternoon rush hour, and the fight begins.
This is the city of LA's idea of a bike lane. And this is the good section.
Each day, Michael Clark, a news manager at radio station KFI, commutes on his bicycle from his home in Westchester to the station offices in Burbank. 34 miles round trip through the urban jungle.
There is no sense of sharing. It is a battle for space. I have to battle for my 5 inches out there, while the automobiles are trying to get where they're going.
A battle for space that can get bloody. Clark has scars from when a driver suddenly cut in front of him, sending him to the hospital. One of 3,000 bike accidents each year in LA County alone, with an average of over 24 deaths. But plenty of drivers are frustrated as well, with bicyclists that they say run stop signs and red lights or ride against traffic.
I just think they should be on the sidewalk. Bikes are for sidewalks, not for streets.
A competition for asphalt that grows each day, along with traffic congestion, density, and the rise in gas prices.
When you're out there on a bike, you tend to feel like you're being bullied a lot of the time.
Monica Howe is with the LA County Bicycle Coalition, a two-wheel true believer who says the law gives her a right to the road.
We can take a full lane if we need to. If there are potholes, if there's any sort of source of danger, sometimes the safest thing for us to do is to just use the full lane of traffic. The cars can go around, it costs them 3 seconds, and they'll be on their way.
But drivers and even some bicyclists say bikes acting like cars just won't work in LA. They advocate a separation, such as the kind found in the nation's bike capital of Davis, near Sacramento, where bike paths crisscross the city and its University of California campus.
If you put some infrastructure in, people bike more, then there's more incentive to put more infrastructure in, and it sort of builds on itself until you've got both the infrastructure and the culture.
Such a culture here once took root in 1901 with a planned 9-mile elevated bikeway from Pasadena to downtown. After 2 miles of construction, the project was scrapped, the route later used for the 110 freeway. Now there's a new effort to use the LA River to connect downtown with the valley.
We've got more bike lanes and dedicated bike paths than we ever have before. And the Los Angeles River, we're about to expand along the Los Angeles River, the bike path now for another couple miles.
A network of segregated bike paths could ease the tension and possibly save lives. Until then, the fight continues.
Right now, the cars rule, and it's their road. And it's my job to go in there and try and figure a way in and out of them. Sometimes that's met with resistance. Oftentimes it's met with a lot of resistance.
Conan Nolan, Channel 4 News.
Tonight, a new push for a big new grocery store drew a big crowd in Burbank, and not everyone is excited about the idea. Channel 4's Beverly White is live right now to tell us why. Beverly.
Well, Colleen, who knew a Whole Foods market would attract such fierce opposition from people who live in or near Burbank's Rancho Equestrian District? And tonight, more than 4 hours of debate leaves the issue unresolved. A Whole Foods market like this one in nearby Glendale would be much closer to reality near the horse-friendly parts of Burbank if city planning staff had its way. But when the city planning board rejected that recommendation, the developer appealed to city council, where more than 100 people signed up to defend or deny the application.
Burbank does not need a store of this size. A store this size benefits Glendale, Toluca Lake, Studio City, North Hollywood.
We just want our neighborhoods back. You're here to protect us.
Opponents fear Whole Foods traffic will endanger school children and horse lovers, but the developer is hopeful.
The traffic is not significant. The city staff reports confirm that, and we think that this is a wonderful opportunity for city to have a top 5 employer.
Now, that proposed store would go in at Main and Alameda. Tonight, the public comment period just entered its 5th hour, so there's been no ruling yet from the City Council. Reporting live in Burbank, I'm Beverly White, Channel 4 News.
It's election night in Orange County to fill a seat on the Board of Supervisors, and with all the precincts reporting the unofficial results show Garden Grove Councilwoman Janet Nguyen ahead of attorney Trung Nguyen by 1/10 of 1 percentage point. The two candidates are not related. Former Assemblyman Tom Umberg is third.
It's the exotic encounter that everyone is talking about in Fontana tonight. Let's take a look here. That is a wallaby. A wallaby is actually a cousin of the kangaroo. He was spotted hopping through a backyard in Fontana today, of all places, as the stunned neighbors scrambled to get their cameras. After about 2 hours, animal control officers finally moved in and captured him. He is domesticated, tame, and escaped from a nearby home. They say the suspect will actually end up in a zoo. I mean, the wallaby and the folks who own them. He's not going easily, is he?
He didn't do anything. He's not a suspect. Oops. A wallaby on the streets of Southern California.
I know. Can you imagine looking out?
You know, I mean, what's next? Rain?
Yeah, let's not go that far.
I'm going to get zoned against wallabies. I don't want that thing outside. Well, we have a little overcast. Some of it fog, hence a dense fog advisory. We'll show you Oxnard, the Huntington Beach, low cloud down in, and we're hoping some of those clouds will bear fruit over the next days. Right now, it's the LA County, but of course it could expand. And there is of zero visibility at 4 o'clock in the morning. It could be 405, 157, 10, 1, start with a couple of spread up. Look at all this moisture. We need to get there's a huge low out there, up in the middle cloud deck, already blowing over it. And I got to tell you, we're hoping against hope that some of this bring us changes. It's called a future cast, because 2 days out into the future to show where the rain's going to go. Watch this. Here is our frustration, and I'm sure yours. At 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, this huge swath of moisture Looks like it's taking aim on Southern California, but the bulk of it will go into Central and Northern California. Watch this. Watch it slide right over the top of Point Conception. Another near miss. But as long as moisture is that close by with a southwest wind that could upslope against the mountains of Santa Barbara and Ventura County, we can't rule out the possibility of some rain. We'll call it a 30% chance from this storm. And again, as we've talked about last couple of days, the greater likelihood will be over the weekend, 40 to 50% on Sunday. In the meantime, dense fog overnight tonight, maybe for your drive to work. Increased clouds and cooler temperatures by about 10 degrees tomorrow. Overnight tonight, we're about a degree warmer than last night, mid and upper 40s to low 50s. Highs tomorrow, we're looking at low 70s at best. Riverside and San Bernardino, Temecula, 68 degrees down at Palm Springs, 77. Mid 60s in the intermediate valleys, and really almost identical temperatures along the coast, 64 Oxnard and Ventura, maybe 62 degrees in Santa Clarita. 30% right now. This looks late in the day tomorrow. And then we're going to taper to 20 on Thursday. Friday and Saturday, partly cloudy skies. Greatest rain chance on Sunday. All of this could change. As a matter of fact, tonight, they ran a computer run with the forecasting computers, and it showed it a little wetter than one earlier today. So maybe tomorrow, with any luck, I'll be able to change this forecast to a wetter scenario. That'd be great.
We'll look forward to that.
Okay. See you later.
Thanks, Fritz. Fred's got sports clips in New York. Fred.
Paul, good news for the Clippers in New York. They led by 10 at the end of the half. Bad news for the Clippers in New York. They played two halves, and the Clippers lost the one that counted. At Madison Square Garden, Elton Brand's high school basketball coach watching his former player perform. Perform he did in the first half. The native New Yorker hitting shots all over the court. Brand finished with 22 points and 13 boards. Clippers led most of the half. Tim Thomas, also a big game, 22 points. Check out the dunk over David Lee, and that left a mark. Lee with a black eye courtesy of Thomas's elbow. Clippers by 10 at the break. Knicks came back in the second half. Stephon Marbury, the layup, the foul. Knicks were up by 10. Then Eddie Curry took a turn. The jam off the alley-oop. Curry had 23. Knicks won at 102.90. Clippers have now dropped 2 straight. They're in Cleveland tomorrow. Now, sparing you the debacle that is the Kings, they lost to Tampa 3-2 in a shootout. Ducks in San Jose, first period. Scott Niedermeyer to brother Rob Niedermeyer. He found Sammy Paulson in front, who scored his 8th of the season, and the Ducks led it 2-0. Second period, Ducks scored 4 to blow it open. Rob Niedermeyer intercepted the pass and fired home his 5th. Ducks were up 4-1. Big game for Travis Mullen. Off the break, Niedermeyer, Mullen, who scored his 2nd of the game. Ducks beat the Sharks 7-4. Same teams go at it in Anaheim tomorrow. College basketball, big showdown at Pauley tomorrow night. UCLA hosting USC. If the Trojans win, they grab a share of the Pac-10 lead with the Bruins. A couple of great shots to show you tonight from college hardwood action. Georgia Tech and White hosting NC State. Final seconds of the half. Look at this. Jarvis Crittenden, 70 feet away, nothing but net. That was unbelievable. Crittenden, one more time. Talk about beating the clock. He did. Georgia Tech won at 74-65. Watch this. Texas Tech, Nebraska, final seconds. Cornhuskers in red down 1. Marcus Perry missed the 3. Tech's Charlie Burgess saved the ball. He saved it right to Nebraska's Charles Richardson, who fired at the buzzer for the win. Nebraska in a heartbreaker, 61-59. Now, finally, you saw this during the Super Bowl, and viewers did vote it one of the 10 best commercials, but not everybody agreed. It was a spot for Snickers where 2 men both wanted the same bar and in the process ended up kissing.
I think we just accidentally do something.
Well, today, Master Foods USA, the makers of Snickers, agreed to no longer air that commercial. A number of gay and lesbian organizations found it offensive and in poor taste. A spokesman for Snickers said, "We know that humor is highly subjective and understand that some people may have found the ad offensive. Clearly, that was not our intent." And we'll be discussing that on AM 570 tomorrow. TJ and Tracy, beginning at 6 a.m., so join us on your way to work. Okay, you guys got it.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Fred. Another side of recovery at Ground Zero.
It means another goodbye for the family.
Tonight, a Desert Hot Springs man is charged with human smuggling after an undocumented immigrant turned up in the dashboard of his car. These photos were released by Border Patrol agents in Calexico, who became understandably suspicious after seeing part of a foot under the dash. They eventually took the customized dashboard apart to free the man, who's now identified as a Chinese citizen.
There is word tonight that a viewing room for families of the 9/11 victims will close at the end of the month. The room on the southern edge of the World Trade Center site has been a place for families to mourn privately and leave mementos. It is being moved because of construction. The Port Authority says family members will be able to move the items to another site, which is nearby.
Now for all you night owls out there.
Guess what they found down the shaft? You got it. We're coming back. You heard of snakes on a plane? How about owls in a shaft? That's what was discovered in an abandoned well in Palmdale this morning. How long were these three birds trapped down there? All together now, who really knows? You know what? They're okay now. I can't believe it.
Okay, but on that note, that wraps it up for us tonight. Don't forget, today in LA, starting at 5 with Smarter Shopping, the tricks that will help you save money. That's it.
I'm Christian. They help out when no one else will. A local charity made up of 70-year-olds who are still making a difference.
Now stay tuned for Jay and the Tonight Show, and tonight he welcomes
Penelope Cruz, Tyler Perry, and James Hunter.
Good night,